Well, we will no longer be paging Nurse Jackie. The show ended after 7 seasons. I have to say, I saw every episode of the show. I always had a little bit of a, not a love-hate relationship with the show, but always a lukewarm relationship with the show. I found that the first 3 seasons, while they were entertaining and I watched all of the episodes, I found that it was a really frustrating show. I thought it never really developed that much. Jackie just kind of kept on getting away with it. And every season for those first 3 seasons, the show kind of seemed like the cliffhanger for each season was, oh good, she's finally going to get caught. And then somehow she would get out of it at the beginning of the next season. So I found it frustrating. It wasn't until season 4, when Jackie finally went to rehab, that the show really soared. That was its best season. Season 5 was really good as well. Season 5 was about Jackie kind of getting her life back together and being clean. Season 6, she relapsed, and yeah, that's an obvious thing that's going to happen with an addict. But I didn't think story-wise it really told anything new. Season 7, I liked that she started out in jail, and I liked that she was trying to get her job back the whole time. I didn't find this season outstanding. I found it a solid season. But let's talk about that ending. There was a lot going on in these last 29 minutes. I feel like it was so rushed. They could have had a little bit of a longer episode. I wanted a longer episode. But let's start off with the best thing about this. O'Hara came back.
God, as dreary as ever.
Eve Best. I loved Eve Best on the show. I thought she was the strongest element of the show. Merritt Wever is fantastic too. She won an Emmy. But Eve Best I thought was always the best part, ironically, the best part about this show. So it was great having her back. She was fun. Great to see that chemistry with Edie Falco again. I love that fight that they had with O'Hara calling her out that she was high again.
You're high, aren't you?
I just found it weird that that was the last time we saw O'Hara. She was such a big part of this episode as it started out, but then after that big explosive scene, she was gone. So I would have liked a little bit more there, especially would have liked her at the ending with what happens with Jackie. And it was kind of ironic that Carrie, who I always thought was basically a lesser version of O'Hara, just kind of an O'Hara clone that wasn't that strong of a character, she got pushed to the back burner in the series finale because O'Hara was back. But other characters got really nice moments, like Zoe. Merritt Wever, like I said, won an Emmy for this role. And she really had an incredible progression on this show. She started out as the nurse in like the bunny outfit, and now she's doing her master's degree, and she's a head nurse, and she's ready to move on from Jackie.
And make my own mistakes that have nothing to do with you.
She needs to get away from Jackie, and she realized that. So it was a really nice ending with her. And of course, we have that final moment with Jackie that I'll talk about in a second. I do want to mention Eddie. I wasn't a huge fan of Eddie and Jackie getting back together, but I guess the show felt they needed to get some kind of relationship going for Jackie. I just found the whole jail thing and the confession thing, it was very rushed. I guess, like I said, that episode was so packed that I guess they had to rush through it. But it was just all of a sudden I was saying, yeah, I confessed, and yeah, I'm going to go to jail, but I love you, so everything's okay. And Jackie didn't even have that much of a reaction to it. They just kind of moved on. Now, also, she didn't have a big part of this episode, but a shout out to Gloria, the character of Gloria. She had a great final moment in the last episode where she says to Jackie, thank you and fuck you, and closes the door on her face. Great final moment. I thought Anna Deavere-Smith has been so good throughout the show. I think she's been a really underrated aspect of the show. And I was kind of worried after that last episode with that ending, that great final line, that maybe we wouldn't see her in this series finale, but we did. So it's great to see her. But let's jump to that finale. Jackie ODing on a huge amount of heroin. She's walking through the streets of New York, so it was kind of weird what was going on. Of course, we realized that she's actually hallucinating or dreaming, and she's actually laying on the floor of the hospital. So the nice tie-in at the beginning of the episode, Jackie is in the chapel saying, make me good, and then when she's laying on the floor, Zoe's saying to her, you're good, Jackie, you're good. Now, I was thinking she's dead, and that's what I wanted to see happen. I'm done with Jackie. She's been a terrible character. She's had so many chances, and sure, in real life, I probably wouldn't say, yeah, that person should die. But story-wise, Jackie needed to go. Just like, say, Walter White in Breaking Bad, the ending of this story is that this lead character has to die. She's caused so much pain. She's had so many chances, and the only ending, and the only fitting end for this character is to die. Now, yes, because really, she's had so many chances in this life. And she just realizes, I think even Jackie realizes, that she's never going to get it right. She's always going to be relapsing. She's always going to be screwing things up. I was happy in this final season that Grace, her daughter, was finally well adjusted. I was so sick of her teen angst. It was like the character of Dana Brody in Homeland, that other daughter character that I just couldn't stand. They put so much emphasis on this character. I didn't care about her problems. That was the same way with Grace here. But at least in this final season, Grace is well adjusted. So yeah, at least Jackie, you figured that part out. Your kid is okay. But yeah, I think she was ready to go too. So yeah, it seemed like she was going to die. Of course, in that final moment, we see her kind of opening her eyes a little bit. So they leave it very ambiguous whether or not Jackie dies or not. And I guess it's up to the audience to decide. It's kind of a little bit like The Sopranos, dare I say it. It's a little bit like the ending of Sopranos, where we're watching that final scene in the diner thinking, are they going to get shot? Is Meadow going to get hit in the car when she's trying to park it? What's going to happen? Then we immediately cut to black, and it's up to us to figure it out, whether or not there was an explosion of violence or they just kept having dinner. And this is a little bit similar in that, does Jackie get taken to Bellevue Hospital and get saved, or does she die on that floor? It's really up to us. In my mind, Jackie dies. I'm sorry, I know this is a comedy and it's a bold ending for a comedy. I mean, it's a comedy drama, but in terms of the Emmys, it gets classified as a comedy. Edie Falco won a Best Comedy Actress Emmy, even though she said when she won, she can't really believe it. I think she said something like, I'm not funny or something like that. But this is a comedy, so it's a bold choice, but I think it's the right choice. So in my mind, Jackie, you're dead. You flatlined. It's over. I think that's a great ending for the show. So I don't think this is a classic show, but this is a solid ending, a little bit rushed, but I thought a lot of things that happened needed to happen. And like I said, it was great having O'Hara back. So that's my thoughts on Nurse Jackie. Let me know what you think. Do you think she's dead or do you think she's alive?